I talked about this the other day. These idiotic teams who bring a coach in, then the coach does the exact same thing he was doing at the other school he was at, and these idiot fans act surprised. South Carolina fan, I'm talking to you and Will Muschamp. Florida fan, I'm talking to you too. With Dan Mullet, I don't understand. You polish up a turd, it still stinks. And Dan Mullet smells funny, okay? Anyway. Listen, I mentioned it yesterday, but if you're not excited about this weekend in college football, then you're just not a college football fan. And that's okay. Maybe you're here because you're an UNCLELOU fan. But seriously, Georgia Tech, Florida State, Auburn, Alabama, the Egg Bowl, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Clemson and South Carolina. I mean, all these huge rivalry games coming on the last weekend of the college football season, or at least the last weekend of the regular season. Well, let's be real, for some teams, it's just the end of the season. Altogether, you can't win 6 games. But anyway, Tennessee, Vandy, good morning. Let's make a bowl coming up this weekend there. Of course, Vandy runs the state. But anyway, a ton of great games, not just in the SEC, but all over college football this coming weekend. And not only do we get all the rivalry games, but a lot of these rivalry games this weekend have conference title and playoff implications as well. Up in the Big Ten, Michigan, Ohio State. You got Oklahoma, West Virginia going at it in the Big 12 there in Morgantown this coming weekend. But today is all about the SEC. I'm going to preview all the other big games too. Those videos will be tomorrow and Thursday, but today it's all about the SEC. As usual, all my prediction videos this season are sponsored by the good people over at betnow.eu. There's a link in the description of this video. If you click that link, it'll take you over there, and they're going to get you set up for all your college football betting needs for the entire season, at least what's left of it, up through the bowl games. I mean, let's be real, we still got, 8 weeks of college football left, right? 7 weeks, whatever it is, if you count all the bowl games. When you go over there to betnow.eu, make sure you enter the promo code UNCLELOU. That's one word, all lowercase letters, UNCLELOU. They're going to give you a bonus on whatever you deposit. Good luck. All right, here we go. Good morning, and it's me, UNCLELOU. There's a ton of words that rhyme with Lou. Thumbs up this video if UNCLELOU should do another rap video. Maybe I should make another rap, make an UNCLELOU song or an UNCLELOU rap. Thumbs up this video if you want to see that. Lots of free time coming up when football season is over. But good morning, it's UNCLELOU here. Yeah, that's right, it's me, UNCLELOU, live for you on LouTube today. And thanks for watching, I really appreciate it also. And 2, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I post college football videos and college sports videos in general, basketball. Do some NFL playoff stuff coming up in January too. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and let's get right into this week's SEC preview though. All right, we're going to do these in chronological order like we always do. Now, there's a Thursday game and a Friday game, and then the majority of the games are on Saturday. But let's start with this game on Turkey Day. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody coming up in a couple of days here. The Egg Bowl on Thanksgiving this year. The football gods blessing us with a pretty good game Thanksgiving night, 7:30 over on ESPN. Now, of course, this is a tale of two teams, really. Ole Miss struggling. They're 5-6. They need a win to become bowl eligible. Oh, wait. They could go 12-0 and not be bowl eligible. That's what happens when you buy players, though. It's funny, though. Remember when Ole Miss was winning 9 or 10 games? Yeah, me too. Why only winning 5 now? Oh, yeah, can't buy players anymore. Got busted. Hashtag you tried. Sad part. I mean, the worst part, I've been over this, made videos about it, but, I mean, the worst part is you went out and bought every player you could find and still couldn't even win your division. So, congratulations. I mean, at least some of these, idiotic cheater-type teams that go out and do this, at least they have something to show for it. Southern Cal won a natty by cheating. Miami's won a bunch of titles by cheating. Alabama don't even get me. Well, if you're Alabama, it doesn't even matter if you win the title. You just claim a fake one. But anyway, I digress. And 2, oh, by the way, Tennessee claims a fake title too. So if you ever see a Tennessee fan trying to ride one of these gumps about claiming fake titles, be sure and remind Voltard there that they claim a fake one too. Yeah, how you going to claim a national title, Tennessee, in a year when you lost your bowl game? Come on, buddy. Come on, do better. Anyway, the Egg Bowl, 7:30 on ESPN. Mississippi State, pretty good season. Well, are Mississippi State fans disappointed in this season? Let me know. I don't know. They're 7-4. Pretty high expectations. Some people had them picked as a dark horse to maybe compete to win the West. That hasn't really happened. Unexplainable loss to Florida. Lost to Kentucky. I don't know. But anyway, they're 7-4. They're 11-4. They're an 11-point favorite in this one. They've won 3 out of the last 4, so maybe they've got it turned around. Their only loss in the last month was to Bama. Ole Miss, like I mentioned, 5-6. They haven't won a game since October 13th. Is that right? Jeez. What happened? I don't know. And that was Arkansas. That doesn't even count. I mean, that only halfway counts. You got losses to Vandy, Texas A&M, South Carolina, Auburn. I mean, the list goes on and on here. I struggled on this one, I'm not going to lie. And let's be real, these rivalry games are hard to pick sometimes. And this week, several of the rivalry games on paper look to be way out of hand, right? Not very fair or equal matchups. But in these rivalry games, a lot of weird things can happen. So 11 points. Ole Miss is that bad. This one's at home. I wanted to pick Ole Miss in this one. Couple of Ole Miss fans on the channel. We had the one calls in all the time, called in. He's going to be at the game. I hope you have a great time, sir. I tried to find a way to pick Ole Miss here. I just couldn't do it. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to take Mississippi State on the road in Lady 11. All right, they're giving us one on Friday, too. This one comes on in the middle of the day, 2:30 over on CBS. Will anyone watch it, though? Arkansas at Missouri. Arkansas 2-9, Missouri 7-4. Missouri, what's going on with Missouri? I don't know. NFL quarterback, up and down. Started out 3-3, 4-1 in their last 5 games. Only lost 1 point to Kentucky. Still scoring points on Florida from that game a couple of weeks ago. Just beat the bejesus out of Florida. They're 7-4. Arkansas 2-9. Their only 2 wins are over Tulsa and Eastern Illinois. Things just not working out well year 1 for Chad Morris. No one expected a whole lot out of Chad Morris year 1 over at Arkansas, but I'm not sure anybody expected a 2-win season, and it looks like that's the way it's headed. Don't think anyone's going to be picking Arkansas to win this game. However, 22.5 points. Could Missouri go nuts? Drew Lock could throw for 5 touchdowns in this game. I'm going to roll the dice here. I'm going to take the road team again, underdog this time though. Give me the 22.5. Maybe Missouri wins like 42-21 or something like that. That would be a winner if you pick Arkansas. Give me the Pig Sueys. Yeah, give me the Pig Sueys. I'll take the 22.5. This one's in honor of Brandon McCann. All right, on to the Saturday games, and this is where the good ones really start to heat up here. And the best one comes up first, 12 o'clock, SEC Network, Georgia Tech on the road at the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia's a 17-point favorite in this one. Tech an up and down year this year, too. Started off really, really bad. The fire Paul Johnson talk was starting to heat up. I had to put a nix on that real quick. As a Georgia fan, I need Paul Johnson to stick around forever. Or even longer if there's a way possible he can figure that out. Of course, I fully support Paul Johnson over at Georgia Tech. I think they should give him a huge raise and a lifetime extension. And to Georgia Tech's credit, they've turned things around lately. They started out 1-3, terrible start like I mentioned, but they've won 6 of their last 7, going 6-1 over the last 7 games. Only loss was to Duke. But who'd they beat, though? Let's take a look. Virginia. Miami. North Carolina, Virginia Tech, Louisville, and Bowling Green. You haven't seen anything like what you're going to see this Saturday, nerds. Georgia's a 17-point favorite. That's not enough, in my opinion. Georgia's on a roll right now. Georgia is starting to look a lot like what they looked like at the end of the season last year. Georgia playing their best football at the right time, in my opinion. Of course, huge showdown next week in the SEC championship game with Alabama, and we'll have plenty on that game next week. But you got to get past in-state rival Georgia Tech first, or that SEC championship game could possibly lose some of its meaning. The good news is Georgia's got nothing to worry about here. We're not Alabama. We're not going to come out and get embarrassed by a high school offense.
All you do is type. You sit there typing all day like a fat little pigeon.
Georgia Tech fans love to remind us they've won the last 2 games in Athens. I'm proud of you. I don't know what to tell you. You beat Mark Richt the last time you played him in Athens before we fired him, and you beat Kirby Smart in his first year in Athens. Congratulations. Those are probably your 2 biggest wins in the last 15 years. So hats off to Georgia Tech. I mean, you beat us 3 times this century, okay? Since 2001, you beat us 3 times. We just own you in every conceivable way. That's not changing here. We will handle this triple option without a problem. Now, I do think Georgia Tech will get some yards and probably even get some points. I could see Georgia Tech honestly scoring in the 20s in this game. Problem is, I think Georgia's going to score in the 40s or 50s. I could see this being like a 45-20 type game. Of course, I'll give an exact score prediction on Friday when I do the Georgia Tech hype video. You know what that means, nerds. Yeah, come on, get you some if you want to. Yeah. I'm going to have to take the home team here. Like I said, I just think Georgia's on a roll right now. I think they get by Georgia Tech without a problem. Give me the Dogs, latest 17. Now, this is an interesting game to me here for a lot of different reasons. Florida's 8-3. Florida State's 5-6. They need a win to get bowl eligible. More on that in a minute. Florida's a 5.5-point road favorite in this one. Florida has obviously looked like the better team this year. Florida State's just been absolutely horrible. This one, 12 o'clock over on ABC. Let me start with Florida State here. Florida State, longest active bowl streak in America, right? 36 bowl games in a row. Is that right? Or is it? Well, you cheated and you got busted. Vacated wins from 2006 and 2007. So, technically, have you really been to 36 bowls in a row? I'll let you have it. Virginia Tech sitting on the second longest streak with 25. Guess who's third? Georgia. Virginia Tech is 4-6. They play Virginia and Marshall. Can they win both those games? No. So Virginia Tech's bowl streak is coming to an end. Florida State, your bowl streak could be coming to an end too. And that's going to leave my Georgia Bulldogs with the longest active bowl streak in all of college football. Hats off to Alabama, though. You guys have made 14 bowls in a row. Almost as many as Georgia. We're only 7 years ahead of you.
All you do is type.
So, hats off. I guess. I don't know. Now, Florida, they should win this game. There's no excuse Florida should win this game. However, Florida has been dominated in recent years by Florida State. It's been a while since Florida won this game. FSU's been on a roll against the Gators. And if you look at Florida's season, this game is very, very important to Florida, in my opinion, if you listen to Florida fan over the course of the season, which listening to Florida fan over the course of this season has been an exercise in futility. I mean, the excuse parade that Florida fans managed to come up with week in and week out is absolutely mind-boggling. You go back to the offseason, right? Florida has the most talented roster in the East. Florida's got the best running backs in the East. We've got the best wide receivers in the East. We've got 4 first-round picks on defense. Half our defense will be playing in the NFL one day. Dan Mullen is the quarterback whisperer. He's going to have Felipe Franks winning player of the year in the SEC. We're absolutely loaded. Our problem last year was 100% coaching. 2 years before that, Lou, we won the SEC East 2 years in a row. Those same players are still there. We're the most talented team in the East, okay? That was the offseason. Come out week 1, you put 60-something points up on something called Charleston Southern, and here they come. The floodgates open. There's Gators everywhere. We're back. It's 2008 all over again. Dan Mullen is a genius. He even got Felipe Franks throwing jump passes against Charleston Southern. You morons were in the stands hollering for no reason. Everything was great. Florida was going 12-0 and likely winning the SEC East and making the playoff. That was after week 1. Week 2, Kentucky comes into town. Nothing to see here. We've beat Kentucky 30-some years in a row. Dan Mullen, greatest coach in the SEC. This is a cakewalk. And then you got housed in your own house by Kentucky. Well, what do we hear then? Anomaly. Bad coaching. For some reason, we abandoned the run game. I don't know why. Felipe Franks is not the type of quarterback should be throwing 30 times a game. He should be throwing between 18 and 22 times a game. That's the recipe for Florida to win, Lou. And Mullen has figured that out now. We're going to finish 11-1. We're still winning the East, and we're going to give Bama a run for money in Atlanta in the SEC title game. We're not worried, okay? You put a couple of wins together. You beat LSU. Congrats. You beat Mississippi State. Congratulations. You're riding high. You're 6-1, 7-1. Georgia game coming up. Oh, we're winning this game. Florida is fixing to beat the bejesus out of Georgia. Last year was just a fluke. McElwain had given up on the team. The team had given up on McElwain. We told you all offseason, Lou, Florida's the most talented team in the East, and now they've got the best coach in the East. There's absolutely no reason why why Dan Mullet, he's a Florida man. You know that, don't you, Lou? There's no reason why Dan Mullet can't come into Florida, just like we told you, and win the East and the SEC year one, because the talent is there, Lou. We have the talent. Georgia embarrasses Florida in Jacksonville, beats the bejesus out of them by whatever it was, 19 or 20 points. And here we go with the excuses. This guy was injured. This guy was hurt. Mullen needs more time. We need 1 or 2 recruiting classes. Oh yeah? Because all offseason and the whole first 6 weeks of the season, you had the most talented team in the East. Now all of a sudden Georgia beats the ever-living hell out of you, and now the talent's not there. Now Felipe Franks is no good. Now Dan Mullet can't polish up that turd. All of a sudden now you need all these more players in recruiting classes. All of a sudden now you need more time. And then what Florida fan tell you? Oh, we're still gonna go. We're still gonna go 10-2, Lou. The Kentucky loss was a fluke. You enjoy this Georgia win, Lou. Would be the last one you ever get in your lifetime. We're still going 10-2 because Dan Mullet's just that good of a coach, Lou. Still going 10-2. Still going 10-2. And probably winning the East, Lou, because y'all gonna lose to Kentucky. Kentucky's a good team, Lou. Yeah. Well, fast forward, Georgia beat the hell out of Kentucky. You go on the following week to get absolutely embarrassed by Missouri, and here we go. Well, it don't matter, Lou. Still winning 9 games. Still winning 9 games, Lou. Can you believe that, Lou? 4 wins last year and still winning 9 games with our only losses coming to Kentucky and Georgia. And did you know Kentucky and Georgia are 2 really, really good teams, Lou? That's why Dan Mullet lost to them. He needs more recruiting classes, Lou. Kentucky and Georgia are really, really good. Yeah, Kentucky go out and get absolutely embarrassed by Tennessee, of all people. Congratulations for that, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so now you're sitting on 8 wins, still crying that you're going 9-3, and pointing the finger at Georgia and saying, how Kirby doing his first year, Lou? Well, Kirby went 7-5 and then won a bowl game, putting him at 8-5. Florida fans are using that as a reason to try to tell me Dan Mullet is better than Kirby because he's already at 8 wins, likely going 9-3, and could win 10 with a bowl game. That's great, but there's one problem. There's one flaw in that logic, and I love pointing this out to you nitwits in the comment section, but the problem is the majority of you can't read. This is not Dan Mullet's first year. Dan Mullet been coaching in the SEC for almost damn near a decade. No division titles, no SEC titles, nothing of note. Worst record in the AP poll history against ranked teams. And from what I've seen, that hasn't changed this year at Florida. I talked about this the other day. These idiotic teams who bring a coach in, then the coach does the exact same thing he was doing at the other school he was at, and these idiot fans act surprised. South Carolina fan, I'm talking to you with Will Muschamp. Florida fan, I'm talking to you too, with Dan Mullet. I don't understand. You polish up a turd, it still stinks. And Dan Mullet smells funny, okay? Anyway, you should win this game over Florida State, though, but not by 5.5. Give me the Seminoles. The Gators could win a close one, though. All right, now we get to the undercard here, now that we've talked about some of the bigger games. Auburn at Alabama in this year's version of the Iron Bowl. Auburn a disappointing 7-4. Well, only disappointing if you're an Auburn fan. Not disappointing at all if you're me or listen to me. I told you this was happening. Auburn can't have back-to-back good seasons. It's impossible. On the road at Alabama, Alabama's a 24.5-point favorite in this one. Who's the barn lost to? Georgia, of course. LSU, Mississippi State. And who was the 4th one? Tennessee. The Barn gave Tennessee their first SEC win since November of 2016. Congratulations, Barn. What a dumpster fire. Don't matter, though. That $7 million check you're paying Gus Malzahn this year cashed just fine, don't it? Yeah, it does. On the road at Alabama. Any way Auburn can pull off the upset in this one? I don't know. Alabama's pretty beat up from that Citadel game last week, aren't they? Yeah, complaining and crying about how hard it is to stop the triple option. Hey, Gumps, watch Georgia play Georgia Tech this weekend. You'll see how a team is supposed to stop the triple option. Quit making excuses about struggling and getting a struggle win against a 4-win FCS team that runs a middle school offense. Watch a real defense handle that triple option this weekend when Georgia takes on Georgia Tech. Type on that.
All you do is type.
But yeah, 24.5-point favorite. I do expect Alabama to win this game. Of course, everybody expected Alabama to win this game last year, didn't they? Yeah, weird things happen. I'm going to take the Barn in the 24.5. I really don't think we're going to see an upset here. Auburn is that bad. Gus is that bad, mainly. It doesn't really matter who the players are. I mean, let's be real. Auburn, rank the teams in the SEC in terms of talent. Auburn's in the top 3, 4, maybe. Maybe Auburn and LSU are close. I don't know. But talent-wise, Auburn's got some talent. Now, I think their front four can get some pressure on the pineapple, too. We'll see. They've got some beasts along the defensive line. Of course, Georgia shut them down without a problem. But that doesn't mean Alabama's going to be able to shut them down. Yeah, I expect Tua be running for his life there at Pineapple. They better get that injury tent ready for this game. That's all I can tell you on that. But yeah, I'm going to take the barn here in the 24.5. I have a feeling Alabama wins 2 to 3 touchdowns. All right, y'all want to make a bowl. Tennessee at Vandy. Tennessee's 5-6. Vandy's 5-6. Vandy's a 3.5-point favorite, and this one comes on 4 o'clock over on the SEC network. So the winner of this game goes to a bowl. The loser sits home and cries about next year. Something Tennessee fan is very familiar with. I cannot pick Tennessee in this game to win. I'm sorry, I cannot. Vandy has beat you 2 years in a row. They beat you 4 of the last 7. They look like a better team. If you've watched these two teams play the last couple of weeks. 3.5 though. I'm going to take Tennessee in the points. I think this will be a close game. I think Vandy wins it at the end. Maybe it's a field goal. Maybe it's a late touchdown. Whatever the case may be. I think this is going to be a close game. I just can't pick Tennessee right now. And this is not me trash talking. These Tennessee fans that have stuck around on this channel over the last couple of years through 2 of the worst seasons in your lifetime, if you're a Tennessee fan, hats off to you guys. I would love to see Tennessee become bowl eligible. But I can say the same thing about Jared. This Vandy fan's been watching the channel forever, calls into live shows all the time. He deserves to see his team play in a bowl too. So this is not me rooting against Tennessee. I honestly feel like Vandy, it's at home for Vandy. I think they'll win, but I'm going to take Tennessee in the 3.5. I'm covering myself if I'm wrong there in case Tennessee gets hot and blows them out. But I have a feeling Vandy wins a close one. Give me the Vols and the 3.5 points though, and 2. All right, how about this bloodbath here, 7 o'clock over on ESPN2. South Carolina on the road at the Taters, Clemson. Clemson's a 26.5-point favorite in this one. There's a few things, if you've been watching my channel for the last couple of years, there's a few themes or whatever that carry over from year to year. And I try my best to stick to promises that I make, right? What are some of the things I've said? When Texas lost to Maryland, I said, that's it. I'm never picking Texas to win an opening game again, and I'm not. I picked South Carolina to upset Clemson last year. Maybe that was part of my SEC homerism coming out. I just felt like South Carolina was playing some good football at the end of the year last year. If you remember, the South Carolina-Georgia game was towards the end of the season last year, and South Carolina only lost to us by 14 points, which sounds like a lot, but we were blowing teams out by 30 and 40 last year at that point in the season. And I just thought things were coming together for South Carolina at the right time. It was a home game for South Carolina last year. I picked South Carolina in the upset, and you guys got absolutely embarrassed. And I said, well, that's it. I'm never picking South Carolina to win this game again until they do. So I'm going to take Clemson. Not only do I think they'll win, I do think Clemson covers this 26.5. Clemson is a really, really dominant team right now on both sides of the ball. Trevor Lawrence can throw for 300 anytime he wants to. They've got 2 running backs that are really, really good, but Etienne especially is putting up crazy numbers this year. I like Feaster too. They've got some great wide receivers. Bulletin board material for this week. There's always bulletin board material between Clemson and South Carolina, but apparently this Hunter Renfrow for Clemson, I guess he got hurt. I was unaware. And I guess maybe some South Carolina, I don't know whether it was fans, players, I don't know if it was jokes they made about it, but anyways, Clemson people are pissed off about it for whatever reason. I just think Clemson is, I do think Clemson is 4 touchdowns better than South Carolina. It's in Death Valley. It's at night. South Carolina is already bowl eligible, so they're not really playing for anything other than pride. But let's be real. They don't have any pride. Give me the Taters, lay to 26.5. Kentucky at Louisville. Kentucky's going to beat the hell out of them. It's that simple. Louisville is one of the worst teams in America. They fired Petrino a couple of weeks ago. They're 2-9. They're just awful. Kentucky's 8-3. Chance to win 9 games in the regular season for the first time in a long time. And if they win a bowl game, could get to double-digit wins. And to give you an idea of how long it's been since Kentucky has had a season like what they're having right now, you have to go back to 2007. so 11 years ago, just to find the last time they won 8 games, which is where they are right now, 8-3. You have to go back to 1984 to find the last time they won 9 games, which could happen if they beat Louisville this coming weekend, which I think they will. If they win their bowl game, that would put them at 10-3. The last time Kentucky won 10 games, Uncle Lou was not born, 1977. They won 10 games. So a chance for an historic season for Kentucky this year. I know they're a little disappointed based on where they were at a month ago, heading into that game with Georgia, where, you know, the winner basically won the East and Georgia sort of handled them without a problem. But anyway, the point is, if you look at the big picture here, even though Kentucky fan was a little disappointed about what's happened over the last month with a couple of those losses and not being able to close out the East, if you look at it, the grand scheme of things, if Kentucky can get to 10 wins by beating Louisville and winning their bowl game, this will be an historic season for Kentucky. To get to 10 wins would be amazing for them, and finish at 10-3 would just be a great year by any standard for Kentucky football. Louisville is that bad. Kentucky's a 17.5-point favorite. I know Kentucky has trouble scoring points. I mean, Kentucky won a lot of their games this year scoring in the teens. I mean, they won a lot of games 15-14, 14-7, 20 to whatever. You get what I'm saying. But Louisville is just really, really bad. This may be the worst team Kentucky has played all year. If Kentucky's ever going to go off offensively, this will be the week to do it. I think Benny Snell will go ham in this game. Give me the Wildcats, lay to 17.5. All right, last up, you got LSU, the Corn Dogs, going on the road to play Texas A&M. LSU, of course, 9-2. Losses to Bama and Florida. Texas A&M is 7-4, which is about where Texas A&M has been every single year that they've been in the SEC, right? They steadily hover around that 7-8 win mark year in and year out. Of course, cost a man his job. Last year, you bring Jimbo Fisher in. Some bright spots this year, some of the same of what they're used to. Hard to judge any coach really off of what they do in the first year, but nevertheless, they're 7-4. They have not beat LSU since 1995. Now, they haven't played LSU every year between 95 and now. Of course, Texas A&M just joined the SEC. What was that, 2011, 2012 when we expanded. But so Texas A&M never beat LSU since they joined the SEC, and you got to go back to 1995 to find a time when they did. And they did used to play a lot, but not every year, but they used to play a lot. So it's been a long, long time since Texas A&M has beat LSU. This one's on the road, Texas A&M. Texas A&M is actually favored in this game, and for the life of me, I don't know why. They're a 2.5-point favorite, 7:30 on the SEC network. I feel like I'm being tricked here with the whole it's a trap routine. 9-2, a top 10 LSU team is an underdog to an unranked 7-4 Texas A&M team. It seems like they're begging you to take LSU here, which really usually means there's something up, and you should go with Texas A&M. And I don't know if I should fall for it or not. I really don't know. The last 3 years, this game hasn't even been close. It hasn't even been within 2 or 3 scores the last 2 or 3 times these teams have played. I don't think I can take Texas A&M. I'm going to have to take the road team here. Give me LSU and the 2.5 points. This is a tough one, though. All right, and shout out to Sarge1231 in the comment section. He was kind enough to leave a comment. I guess it was last night or maybe this morning. I saw it this morning. Let's just put it that way. Of a YouTube clip. And I just could not stop laughing when I saw it. It's from the movie Throw Mama from a Train. If any of you are old like Uncle Lou, you may remember that movie. Danny DeVito was in that. Anyway, he sent me the clip of Danny DeVito's mom telling him all he does is sit around all day with the type. And I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. I've got to save that to use in the video. So I used it. Well, I haven't edited this video yet. But I'm going to use it. I don't know, once or twice. We'll see. I don't know, but it'll be in there somewhere. So shout out to you, Sarge. I really appreciate that. If you guys come across any clips that you think I should use, be sure and let me know. Well, let me know, but here's the caveat or whatever. Don't let me know if you're going to get your feelings hurt if I decide not to use the clip, because that has happened before. People will send me stuff. Oh, you should put this and do that and do that. And for whatever reason, I don't do it, and then they get mad about it. So don't send me anything if you're going to get mad if I don't use it. But send it to me, though. You know, if there's a way I can work it in, I will. If I don't use the clip, it's not necessarily because I think it's not any good or not funny or whatever. It may not seem like it because you guys watch this and tell me I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So it may not seem like it, but I'm picky about what I'll put in the videos or not. It has to fit with what I'm doing. Same type of thing when people send me ideas for videos. I love you guys' video suggestions, and a lot of times people will send me a headline or a news story, or Lou, you should do a video on this. And a lot of times I don't do it, and it's not because I don't think it's an interesting story or anything like that. If I can't find a way to sort of put my style or something into it, then I just choose not to do it, right? I mean, anyone can read a news article, so unless I feel like I can add some sort of entertainment value some kind of way by doing a video on it, then I try to steer clear. But I love when you guys send me stuff. Just please don't get upset if I don't use it. Anyway, I don't know why I went into all that, but Sarge1231, shout out to you, sir. That clip was great. 2 more preview videos coming this week. I'll have a preview video up tomorrow, Wednesday, and I'll have a preview video up on Thanksgiving, Thursday. I'm going to record those videos today because I've got things to do for Thanksgiving, like I'm sure all of you do, over the next couple of days. So this will be uploaded today, which is Tuesday. I'm fixing to record a Wednesday and Thursday preview as well. One of the videos will be a preview of all the Saturday games, and one of the videos will be a preview of all the Friday games. Ton of good games on both days. So anyway, stay tuned for those. Subscribe if you're not already, and you guys have a great morning.